What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's having a great day. So, as you can see, there is a massive mess on the table today. I decided that I'd make a video because I've had a couple questions about this regarding the soil that we use for our plants and stuff like that. I don't know why I just pulled this one forward, but this is the new mix that I'm working on. This is going to be for the Nepenthes seeds, so we'll have to see how that goes. I got a bunch of new plants and we got some seeds that came in, so we'll go ahead and show you some of those, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the soil that I use for it and stuff like that. But there's not so much I can say about the soil, so let's go ahead and show you guys the plants. Okay, so here are all the plants that I just got. Some of them are from Carnivero, obviously, the fiery spot. Got one from Native Exotics. This is a very exciting cross that I've been really excited to get. This is Nepenthes Aloei Gothica from EP, I believe. Oh, there's the price, but yeah, it's not a cheap sucker, so yeah, it's a cutting. Then we have a what is this?
I don't even know who you are.
Oh, this is a Morelliana. So I'm pretty excited about this one. This one was actually I got on eBay, and then what ended up happening when the box arrived, someone stole the plants that were in it. So when I got the box, it was completely empty, and it had two plants, which was this one as well. The Bellii, I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry if I'm completely butchering that name, but yeah, both of these plants were not in the original box that they were sent in, so I had to message the seller. It's like a little whole ordeal. I had to contact USPS. They said, "Oh, you can't do anything. Contact the seller." So then I contact the seller. It's a bunch of crazy stuff, but finally, after like a couple days, the seller was like, "It's okay. We completely understand." And then they were able to send me another Morelliana, which was pretty cool. So yeah, finally got another one. But if you guys are out there ordering plants and stuff like that, you never know who's looking on your porch or something like that. So or even USPS, because it could have been an internal thing, because I got an empty box, and even the USPS had a little note saying that it was empty. But I don't know, whatever. So that's another two of the plants here. And then we got a Song of Melicon. Ooh, yeah, I'm not gonna say that because I'll just destroy it. But VGI Pink Candy Cane. I'll show you guys it. There you go. I don't know why I can't say that word. Wow. All right. Then we're gonna move on to this big old guy. I've actually been wanting one of these for a while. I finally just pulled the trigger on wanting one, so you can see. I'll pull all these plants out of the bag and then show you guys a little bit more once I do so. And this one is the Maxima Campanulata VGIK, the wave. Very cool. It's gonna be a pretty cool looking cross. It's seed grown and everything too, so all of them are gonna have to be a little different. That's why I try to get more of the seed grown stuff, This one is from Red Leaf Exotics. Let's go open this up. Oh, this one was easy to get out, so that's why I just took it out. And this one is there you go, Maxima Dark Cross Loei VGI Bashiana. So some of these is like the new crosses from EP, so honestly I don't think you can sleep on these, because you never know what they're gonna look like once they get bigger, and they might look fire. So I mean, that's what most of these plants, you never know what they're gonna look like, and I try to pick the ones that are gonna be maybe crazy later on down the road. So that's one. We got, I think, two more here. This one I was actually really excited about because it's so different. This is Loei Vici Bashiana Loei Vici Bicalcarata Campanulata. Yeah, that's a long one there. Also from Carnivoro. This is one of his in-house crosses, so this should be pretty cool to see over time. And then we got another one. This one is the famous Nepenthes Northiana. Not much. It's really small. Really small. Like, really, just way too small. I mean, not way too small, but it's whatever. There's nothing crazy going on here. But yeah, I really wanted this one as well, so yeah. As for the seeds, where did I put the seeds? There they are. Okay, here we go. Seeds are Loei Vici Bashiana Vici Maxima Vici Cross Vici. Only 20 seeds. Pretty excited. Yeah. These were on eBay from a trusted seller, and these sold out really quickly. So, and they're fresh, so they were just harvested. So, cool stuff. All right, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and start potting this up, and then once we get all these potted up, I will go ahead and talk a little bit more about the soils and stuff. So we'll go ahead and do a like montage, I guess, of me like doing the pot ups for all these plants. For you guys, it's gonna take like a minute. For me, it's probably gonna take me like 2 hours. So, all right, let's get into it, guys. Okay, so now we have all the plants potted, and the big ones right here. We got a little bit of the old leaf wilting because they just came out of a bag. So some plants do it, some plants don't. As you can see, most of them are all okay. It's kind of like the lowland condition plants that kind of get that leaf wilt, but for the most part, they're all good. So let's go ahead and take a look at the different types of soils. So as you can see, you know, this is what we call our jungle moss. This is our mix. And then this is just the normal conventional sphagnum moss mix that we also make, but it's mostly like everyone can make this one. It's pretty easy. And you know, this is the traditional style that most people use. So when it comes down to soil, you know, most plants, they can all grow in the normal sphagnum moss here, and some people just use bare sphagnum moss. I would say you can do that like as well, but I wouldn't, because sometimes, like, let's say you forget a watering, you know, things happen during daily life, and the sphagnum moss itself can really just dry up, and you know, it can like squeeze the roots, dry out the plant, stuff like that, and then it becomes a little bit more difficult to you know, get it all watered up again. I mean, all you have to do is technically just sit in like a little pool of water for about maybe 30 minutes and it'll suck up the water again. But in some cases, the plant can definitely go into shock. I've had about one or two plants now that have gone into shock because that happened, because I had to go away for a couple days, and the plant, you know, when you come back, it's really badly wilted, and there's no recovery, and you know, sometimes they just die, and that's just kind of the name of the game with some of these plants. But you know, you can definitely try to avoiding that when, you know, watering properly and stuff like that. And it really does come down to how you set up the mix. Also, you know, I would say that the sphagnum moss mix is definitely holds a lot more water than the jungle mix here. And the jungle mix, I would say, is only for if you have like a mass collection of Nepenthes. Now, why do I say that is because the jungle mix that we have is a lot finer. So I have a bag over here. So let's see. Just trying to do this with one hand. So this stuff is a lot finer, and you know, before we started offering it to people and stuff like that, we wanted to make sure that it works. So here we go. As you can see, it's a lot finer, and this moss is actually from Malaysia, and you know, mostly where the Nepenthes are from. So it's pretty close to what they are actually growing in. And what I've seen so far is that the plant can definitely have it grows a lot faster, at least for me. I'm not sure, honestly. I started selling this so people can look for themselves, but I do have a couple plants that are currently growing in it. Here, I'll show you. So tuck around here. So this is my Lowii Burbigiae, and as you can see, when I first got it, it was really small, and the moss is starting to grow really well. Let me just move this real quickly. It's growing back, really green, really nice looking. It takes a little bit of time for it to happen like this. This plant's been it for about a year now, and let's see, you got some substantial leaf jumps here. It's my hand. Leaf jump, leaf jump. So that's one. Then we come up here. This is, sorry for all the dead picture. You know, this looks really bad, but the plant's completely fine. Here's another one. Also, this is my glandulifera, and same thing. It's in the jungle mix, starting to give me really good leaf jumps. I don't know if it's because over time that they obviously do this. I mean, it's pretty obvious that they do this. But I've noticed that the plants that I do plant it in grow a lot faster. So over here, this is my Lowii. Super small when I got it, and starting to give me some good size now. Also, as you can see, the moss is growing in it really well. And then here's another one. This is one that I just recently acquired. What is that? That is Sibuensis cross Lowii Vicii. It's a new BE cross. And same thing, you know, it's starting to give me some good leaf jumps there and everything too. Like I said, you know, it could be the soil, it could be just the conditions that I have here. But you know, from what I've seen so far, the plants are doing really well. I even have some of my most expensive plants, like my red hairy hermata, which was in the previous video. That's also planted in it, so we're gonna see how that goes. I'll keep you guys updated on that as well. But I would say with soils, the most important thing is you want to make sure that there is some perlite, orchid bark, stuff that really kind of aerates the soil from like it really crunching up, just in case it does dry out and stuff like that. You know, when it comes to humidity levels and stuff like that with these plants, they're very finicky and do love high humidity. And these, you know, you want a moss that can drain really well and hold humidity and hold moisture. You don't want to keep these waterlogged, obviously, because if that's the case, the plant can drown, die, stuff like that. And I would say, you know, with this jungle moss that I'm using currently, it's pretty good. I've never had any issues with it, never had a plant die when I planted in it. It's just, you know, like I said, with the Nepenthes world, you know, it's just a trial by ear. And I mean, obviously you want to do it with like not an extremely expensive plant, but maybe like a Ventrata that you find at Home Depot or something. You know, just kind of experiment. That's what we did at first. Actually, this Ventrata here, this beat up one here, this is actually planted in the sphagnum moss that you find at Home Depot, like the kind of brownish looking one, and you know, you can use that as well. It's a lot cheaper stuff. The only problem that I have with it, that it doesn't hold a lot of moisture very quickly and it dries out really bad. And then if let's say you have it on a windowsill or something like that, it kind of blackens and looks really bad. But you know, it still does the job. It still can plant, you can still have Nepenthes in it. Sphagnum moss sometimes can be expensive, it can be harder to find, you know, so when it comes to that, that's very available to you, so I would definitely not count that out. So yeah. Now let's say the normal sphagnum moss mix. This is the traditional style. Everybody loves this kind. I love it at the end of the day. Holds a lot of moisture. The only problem is, like, let's say you have like a little pool of water, this sphagnum moss is just gonna drink it all the way up. It's gonna completely become waterlogged, and it could be okay as long as you know, take it out of that little pool and then put it somewhere else, because the plant can have root rot and die. That's the only problem that I have with this type of sphagnum moss, but it's the New Zealand sphagnum moss. But other than that, you know, as long as you're keeping up with maintenance and everything, it's pretty fine. The jungle mix, let's see what a con. Oh, okay. One con that I'd have with this is that because it's so natural, when I first get it, I have to put in a 24-hour water bath because there's still a lot of debris in it, and then we have to let it dry out and stuff like that, and then we start adding the mix to it. The other thing is, if you do not airtight the bag when you're, like, let's say you're putting it away, it has a very weird smell. I've had some customers say that it's like, it smells kind of like manure, I guess, but there's nothing of that in this. It's really natural, I guess. I don't know what it is, to be honest, but once you have it sit out for like a couple hours or two, usually the smell dissipates and completely goes away once the plant. I don't have a stinky room here. My wife wouldn't let that happen. But yeah, there's a lot of mixes on the market now. Red Leaf has theirs, Native Exotics has theirs, and you know, I want to try all different types because, you know, this you know, it's fun trying to just experiment with all this type of stuff. Let's see, do I have any other plants? Most of these are all planted in sphagnum moss here, the normal kind. Down here, okay, hold on, not with me, give me a second. Okay, so you can't see anything. This is a new one that I also acquired. What is this one? That is Nepenthes truncata cross Veitchii? I think that's what it is. But it's also in a sphagnum moss, and it's already starting to pick up a little bit, as you can see there. And here is my PDA. Really doesn't do anything for me. This is actually just in normal sphagnum moss with like barely any mix. I mean, it gets a lot of leaf jumps, but other than that, it hasn't pictured for me. And trust me, the humidity is probably around 85% to 90% during the day, and then during the night it probably drops down to like 75%. But I don't know, it's so weird. I got that one off of eBay, so you never know with eBay. I'm just kidding, there's a lot of good businesses, never count that out. But yeah, you know, when it comes to sphagnum moss mixes and stuff like that, you know, there's not one fit there's not one fit for all Nepenthes. All plants are a little bit different. You want to experiment with things. Even some people started using is like an orchid bark kind of thing, and I see that works really well too. But yeah, you know, I can't say too much about it. Pretty cool stuff. I didn't put the seeds down here because I forgot them downstairs, but I'll show you the mix that I had. I don't know why I just bring the mix, but now the mix for this was also a mix from Malaysia as well, Borneo, and this is a cocoa husk fiber mixed, and it's super fine. There we go. And it has very thick, like cocoa husk like feeling to it. And then we added sphagnum or perlite to it and orchid bark just to keep it a little bit aerated. And we planted our seeds in that, so it'll be exciting to see how that does. Oh wow, the video's going long already. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. Sorry if it was like all over the place, to be honest. I mean, for the most part, I would just say, you know, try different types. I wouldn't say go with all the same kind, but if you want to, that's completely fine. But you know, I like to experiment, see how the plants grow in different types of growing media and stuff like that. And as time progresses, I'll definitely keep trying more different types. So yep, that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below. If you like this video, like and subscribe. And yeah, all right guys, have a good one.